Today on Vibe, we're joined by Sir Daniel Wynn, internationally acclaimed artist, philanthropist, and now filmmaker. His new film, Chrysalis, tells his personal story of resilience, transformation, and the power of healing and to inspire people. We're diving into the journey behind the film and the deeper meaning woven into his work. Sir Daniel Wynn, welcome to On Vibe.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you, Maria. I'm excited to
Pleasure
talk
to
about
meet you
this.
too. Yeah, so nice to meet you. Tell me, okay, what inspired you to create Chrysalis?
Well, I'm an artist, first of all, sculptor and painter, and I like to give my philosophy about existential surrealism, which is basically, in a nutshell, why we exist. What is the purpose and the meaning of life? And I communicate my works through visual language, so people appreciate and sort of see themselves in the painting and sculpture, so how their lives and how can they better themselves. And then I did some short films that won a lot of awards that tries to explain in visual language through cinema. And I find that through cinema art, fusing it with fine art, it just goes beyond because there's thousands of frames in a short film compared to a painting. So I feel that people can appreciate it more. So I decided to talk to some writer to create potentially a feature movie based on my memoir. How I came to U.S., the struggles, the adversities, and then overcoming it. Because I know that in this time right now, in the world that we live in, with so many things going on, I feel that it is the moment to share my vision of what I've gone through because I've experienced what a lot of people I see are going through the world right now. And then I'm not just talking about one instance, whether it's immigration or war or a famine. It's all of that. And of course, even abuse. I've experienced it and I want to share that. So initially, there was a award-winning writer that wrote the initial script, and I felt it wasn't quite ready yet. So they spent another year, and I got another screenwriter to write it, and it was perfect. And I felt it when I read it. I cried, and because it really encompassed my life, and it made me feel that I can share this with the world, that hopefully they can embrace their existence and move on. And it's very powerful. So there we have it. And then, of course, I chose a director that did my two short film that I felt that he is just brilliant in terms of bringing my visions to life. And one last thing I want to say before I go on is that this is the first time that we filmed in Vietnam that the Vietnamese government allowed an American director to film in Vietnam in over 50 years since pre-1975 because they're very strict. They had to read the script. We had to sort of edit the script because of the censor so many times to get it to the point where they finally approved, and we were ecstatic.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow,
ecstatic.
I'm sure.
I mean, even the old movies, like the great masters of directors, Oliver Stone and even Apocalypse Now, Good Morning Vietnam, they couldn't film in Vietnam. They had to film it in other Asian country
How about
because the
that?
censors were so strict. So I was like so fortunate that I guess because I am Vietnamese American, and the story is we had to take a lot of politics out, which was part of it, but it was very subtle. And we had
Okay.
to take a lot of things that pertains to the war. We couldn't even say the word war.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's
Oh my
like
gosh.
so. What I did is I think we got clever, and the director, the writer said conflict.
Okay. All
So
right.
you
Be
know,
specific with your words. All right.
yes.
Interesting. Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
a really big accomplishment, and I'm so excited for you. And I got to see the trailer of it. It looks incredible. Do you want to share what it's about, or what is your personal memoir that?
It's very personal. What I'm proud about it is that we got such amazing talents, and I don't just mean the actors and actors, the talents that are A-list celebrities. If you compare the type of talents and actors that are in this movie in Vietnam, it's equivalent to the A-listers over here.
Okay.
We have Kieu Chin, which is a phenomenal actress that she's 88 years old, and she is just one of the best. I
Is
mean, to
she?
me, I compare it like the equivalent to the American Meryl Streep. And we have great actors that is just, and child actor that played me from 7 years old all the way to 25, and then I get to play myself even though I'm not an
Nice.
actor.
Nice. Nice.
But it's, it's not hard to play myself. but it was extremely emotional.
Okay.
But I also give credit to the talents of the crew, the cinematographer, director, and of course I'm very proud of the composer. The music score is just absolutely phenomenal, and we're actually, I believe, we're flying to either Vienna or Prague in February to have, I believe, 50 to 100 performers orchestra to perform the music for the entire movie. They did it as a temporarily in digitally now, so they're going to perform it and record it. So I'm very excited with my
Outstanding.
team. So
Outstanding. It all came together for you.
yes, and to answer your question, what is the movie about? People see me now as a successful artist. It's never been that way. They only see the peripheral, the optics is that, he's successful, he's this and that, but they don't really realize what it takes to get there. They don't see the underdog. They don't see the behind the struggle and the adversity that I personally went through. And I want to share that because the glass is never always green, or I'm sorry, the glass is never half full yet. You fill it up, and the grass is never green because you have to tender to it
Water
and
the grass,
water it
tend to
and
it. Yeah.
nurture it.
Yeah.
For me, I came from a war-torn country. My father went to war with the in the South Vietnam with the American. He worked for the U.S. Embassy as a translator, and we thought he died. So my grandmother took care of me because my birth mother, back then there were issues with, of course, it was very difficult. So she made the wrong decision, and I was abandoned, abused by my stepfather, kicked out, lived in the streets. So my grandmother took care of me.
So sorry.
And eventually my father did come back. But the movie is more of a relationship of a bond between a grandmother and grandson because everyone uh, may not have children, but everyone has a grandmother.
That's right. It's true.
And we take it for granted sometimes what grandmothers sacrifice until we look back and realize how precious what they've done. And we don't really truly understand until we get to that point where we're too old to realize. And then there comes the regret, the resentment, and the guilt. Well, that's what this movie is about. It shows me as the artist that's successful, that has the guilt, the resentment, and the remorse. That how did I overcome that? So this movie will share my relationship with my grandmother, how she sacrificed everything for me, and eventually came over. And even then, her last moment of loving me, knew that I couldn't get back in 1991 to Vietnam to visit her, although her having cancer. She somehow, my father had an immigration office here, brought it over. She told him not to tell me, and then of course I spent time with her. And during that time, I was in school studying medicine because that's I had two choices: medicine or engineer. That's the Asian thing. And I figured that was the way to be successful and make financially viable to
You thought
support
it's
my grandmother.
what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
Right. So I did that basically because I wanted to take care of my grandmother. But when she came over, I was kept away from what she had. And then even on her last day, I went to visit her, and I had a test the next day, and she says, go take your test. And I did. And then that night she passed away, and I didn't realize it. And then it broke my heart. And then at that moment, I followed my heart of what she says. She goes, follow your dreams, do what your calling is, and don't do what other people say. And if you do that and make a difference to the world and a positive influence, that's all that matters. You can't take money or materialistic with you, but what you can take with you is the confidence that you've done something positive in the world. So I took advice. I struggled for the next 3 years living in the street, even at 25 to the next several years. Struggled, live in my car, clean up at the gas station, but struggled very hard. And eventually I got lucky and I made it, and that's another story. So what I wanted to do is share with the world about my background and history, that I was the underdog. People don't see that. They only see the optics of what they see now.
Yeah.
But like in anything, everybody starts from scratch. Here, I just did not start from scratch. I was emotionally, physically abused, abandoned, and I think in the movie there, my memoir's called The Scarcity of Love. I was really absent of love. Even though I had my stepmother and my father, they had their own child together, and I still felt abandoned. The only love of my life was my grandmother, and when she passed, it was devastating. And I want to share to the world that if you have that kind of love, don't take for granted. And like I said, everybody has their grandmother, and most of my friends that I know is like when their grandmother's sick and all that, it's either they're in the home or out of state, and they take for granted that maybe I thought at that time she lives forever, but I feel that that's not the case. And when something like that happens to you, it changes you.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is just share it so that children and even adult now can really just have a moment to spend with their mom, their grandmother, to appreciate that, because you cannot buy time. And when it's gone, you can't take it back. And there's nothing worse than having guilt, regret, and remorse.
Wow.
So that's what this film is about, Chrysalis.
Wow.
It's about the process of evolving slowly from a caterpillar to a cocoon to chrysalis to the stage is finally to a butterfly that I can actually soar and make a difference. So what I'm trying to do now, like my artworks and through cinema, is make a difference through visual language so that everyone can embrace their existence, their emotions, their lives, to have a better purpose so that they can help others as well.
Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, two things I want to say on that is one, do you feel that you healed your journey of abandonment and abuse through art and cinematography, or how did you heal through that?
You know, when somebody's hurt, it's like, and then I can't speak for myself being in war or battle, the scar will always be there. And a lot of times with PTSD, for myself at least, it comes out in some ways that unexpected. So I believe that wounds are always there and it's never healed. But what you could do is try to heal it, and for me, is through art. So through my art, my pain, my suffering, my thoughts, my emotions are transferred to that. It's like that's my therapy. Some people go to therapy to get that resolved. I do it through my art. With that said, I believe and feel that most people can find ways, whether it's exercise, love, marriage, having significant others, there's always ways to help you heal and constantly nurture that wound. Because I don't believe that any wounds are ever going to be gone. Scars are always going to be there for the rest of your life. If you're fortunate enough not to have those scars, or maybe I would say, let me rephrase that. Sometimes the scar is what makes you who you are.
Oh, that's a quote right there. Sometimes a scar makes you who you are.
Well, I think about it sometimes, like I talk to some celebrities and they say, you know what, I have this scar on my face and people think I'm sexy for that and masculine.
Yeah.
So sometimes a scar does enhance your personality, not necessarily your looks, but it gives you character. It builds your confidence and life experience that you can then hopefully share that with others. So for me, my scars actually is my battle, my struggle, but also is a reminder that I have to remember how to not have that recur, but at the same time share that how I got my scar so
Yeah.
others maybe diminish maybe a little bit, because my scar is pretty deep.
Yeah, okay.
And hopefully
Okay.
their scar is not as deep.
Okay. Wow. So from what I hear you saying is that your scars make you who you are, yet you nurture it, you tend to it through art, creativity, and sharing it with others. And even though it may always be there, you don't have to put salt in the wound, but you can learn how to just tend to it.
You don't put salt on the wound, but others may.
Yeah.
See, my weakness is because the scar and the wound are always there. I'm always concerned, and all of us, we're concerned about vulnerability. That's why we have this shell that we don't want to let the people in. Sometimes a lot of people don't have significant others or get married because they don't want that person to be in because it's painful to open up. So for me, I feel that I always have to be vigilant of that. But at the same time, you need to open up. You need to take a chance. You need to take that risk. And yes, you will be hurt. But through that pain, through that adversity comes triumph and happiness. And the more bitter the taste or experience, the sweeter the triumphant will be.
Love it. Yes, I agree. Yes to that. Okay, yeah. So speaking of your grandmother's story and the love that you had with her and how it led you to create all the love in your life now through art and cinematography, what you see here, if you would like to try, I created this brand called Figaro and Co. And it's actually inspired by my grandmother because when I was a kid, she gifted me the stuffed animal cat named Figaro. And she passed away 2 years ago. And so that cat represents love, joy, and connection, which I want to bring to other people.
What is it though?
So they're Kana infused chocolates.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my
All right. I gotta taste this.
Okay.
It's actually chocolate?
They're chocolates. They're organic, dark chocolates infused with Kana.
Okay, this is my weakness, by the way, dark chocolate.
Yeah, okay.
Is this dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
What
Organic.
percentage? What percentage?
Oh, what percentage dark chocolate?
70, 80?
Oh, it's like up there. What do I have on the label?
Do you mind?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. It's like 8 is in the 80%.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. I'm endorsing it. It's pretty good, actually. Now, what made you, chocolate, dark chocolate particularly, releases endorphins?
Yes.
Makes you happy.
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty interesting that we're talking about it and you brought this up.
Yeah.
So tell me now, I'm interviewing you,
Okay.
why you decide to create this.
I decided to create this because I wanted to introduce people to something that made an impact in my life and what are the tools that have helped me. And Kana, I was introduced to over 10 years ago, and I thought, this is a powerful healing plant. I want to make it into a product that's easily accessible to people so they could quickly shift their emotional state, alleviate feelings of stress, anxiety, depression. And I thought, okay, what better way than to bring my grandmother's spirit into it, and yeah. And
Wow, you're gonna make me cry here because this is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of
Yeah.
Chrysalis, the movie, is that it elevates. And what you and I are very similar in that sense is that we want to share and put a positive influence to the world of what we've experienced, but not just to share, but also enhance it by providing something
Yeah.
that they can take with them. And here, like dark chocolate, I gotta say, they say that it is also an antidepressant. I think women who, I'm going to laugh and when I say this, I might get in trouble. Through that time of the month, when they take dark chocolate, it's like a...
Oh, I have clients who say that when they have menopause, they're like, this helps me alleviate. all
Yes,
my-"
exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when, for me, just to let you know, every day, when I make my protein shake, I put 2 scoops of dark unsweetened chocolate in my powder every day,
Nice.
nonstop.
Nice.
I do believe that what you're doing here is actually really, really cool because chocolate, honestly, is nature's happy pill.
It really is.
Happy plant, so to speak.
It's already natural, and then you add Kana to it, so you'll see how you'll feel within
No,
30
tell me
minutes.
Kana. You say something. What is Kana again?
Kana is a plant from South Africa. The botanical name is Siletium tortuosum, and tribes have been using this for centuries to calm the mind, calm the nervous system, open up their heart. It's a heart opener, and a heart opener opens you up to feelings of love, joy, and connection. And people, science shows now that it reduces cortisol levels, it reduces the fight or flight response, and all of that.
This is really good. I'm going to take one before I go.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
honestly, no, seriously, I really like the flavor. I like dark chocolate, and this one is like perfectly sweet because I don't like too sweet.
Yeah.
And this one is really good. And my favorite, like I said, I love dark chocolate. I had no idea that you do this.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So the premiere next year,
Okay.
I want to talk to you and we'll collaborate to put this in the gift bags and all stuff because my clients and my guests needs to know about this.
I
I,
would
I
love
would
that.
definitely want to endorse this because I love chocolate
Oh my
and
God.
this is really
I
good.
love that. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, I'm so excited.
Now,
All right.
what other, besides this, is
Mhm.
there any other
Yeah.
products besides this chocolate?
There is. There's a chocolate, then there's an elixir, which is this little vial, which is a high concentrate of kanna. You take 1 to 2 drops under your tongue or into a drink. You can use it instead of alcohol if you don't want like the hangover.
Is there a chocolate flavor? It's just a,
It's just a mint flavor.
ah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So yeah, that one's like a strong heart opener.
Oh yeah, I don't want to sound like this is an infomercial, but
Nope.
this is good stuff.
This is good stuff. All right. Love it.
So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that with me, but I really like that. And it actually ties in with this interview because I'm really happy to hear that you are also doing what I feel is important for the fortunate people like myself that have the opportunity, being in the United States, that gave me so much incredible opportunity that I love this country so much that it's allowing me to share to the world my adversity, but my triumph as well. But I feel that being here in the U.S. Has given me so much incredible opportunity to be able to do so through my art, through my cinema, through my visual language, and to any kind of platform that I can hope make this world a better place.
You're
So,
doing it.
so are you?
Yeah,
You're doing
thank
it the
you.
same way, and but I
Thanks.
think yours, the flavor is much more really good. So can you imagine watching the premiere in the movie and having this instead of popcorn?
Exactly. Here you go, popping some Kana bites. You're like, I'm relaxed, blissful, and happy.
You know
Yeah.
what? My thought is, what about you do popcorn covered with this chocolate? That
Yes.
would be amazing for the
Oh,
premiere.
oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, that's a great idea.
Because when you watch a movie, your endorphin level is already increased. So imagine kind of like putting that on steroid here.
This is a great idea. Okay, I'm making chocolate covered popcorn, Kana chocolates.
Chocolate covered popcorn, but with a with a story and a little bit of a lift and organic and really good for you. So
Absolutely.
I would love that. So let's think
Okay.
about that because you do. I would definitely collaborate and buy that for my clients, and because I'm going to do so many premieres all over the world, I would love to have that incorporated with the popcorn at the theater if possible.
I would love that. Okay, we're
Let's
going to
talk
talk more.
afterward.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Exciting. Okay. Okay, so I also know that you have an art gallery, right, in Beverly Hills,
Rodeo Drive.
Rodeo Drive.
Yes.
And how long has that been going on? Is that how you first like made your way into the United States from Vietnam doing art?
Ah, great question. See, after this movie, I've already been approached by numerous producers and to do limited series, either on Netflix, HBO, whatever, or do part two, part three, part four, because the Chrysalis is actually only about 3 year span of my story, even though it has my 25-year-old and who I'm playing myself at 60. By the way, I'm 60. By the way, chocolate is part of the key.
Good for you.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
The gallery is a byproduct of how I started. When I gave up everything, when my grandmother passed away, I lived in the street. I got lucky and met my idol, Chuck Jones. Because my first way of learning English here, by the way, was watching TV, Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck. Luckily, I don't talk like that, but I met the creator, Chuck Jones, at one of his gallery in Corona Del Mar. I used to live in Laguna Beach in the street, in the beach. I literally live in my car and on the beach. And I saw his work and I was just so in love with it because I grew up with it. So I met him. I went to one of the show and he allowed me to come in and I think he connected with me. And then at that time I was working at Aaron Brothers as well and did framing. And I went to him and I looked at him. I said, you know, these framing could be better on your work because your work is so great. So he talked to his corporate and they asked me if I do framing. And at that time I said, well, I do, but I don't have a store. So they decided to give me like maybe 30 of them to try to frame up. And I figured, okay. So I started literally renting a small studio to do it, ordering frame prefabricate and do it all by hand. And eventually they gave me like 1,000 of them. So I said I need a deposit. So I bought a machine and equipment. And that's all because of Chuck. Chuck Jones was so supportive. And from there, I grew. And eventually I opened a gallery in Laguna Beach. It was very small, like 800 square feet.
Wow.
And then start selling at that time my work. Then I met my partner, Randy Slavin, and we decided to open an art agency in 1997. we did an art agency to represent other artists because I feel that artists needed a voice. So we wanted to promote them and make them recognizable. Great artists, and most artists are, I would say, not versed on how to do that because they don't teach that in college. When you go to art school, when you graduate, you're done. There's no postgraduate on how to be a successful artist. So we wanted to be one of the agency, just like actors or modeling, so that we facilitate their works to the galleries.
Yeah.
And at that point, for 20 years, we sold to about over 100 galleries worldwide, representing about 20 artists that we hand selected out of thousands. But the irony was that we had some investor at that time that was that were my collectors, and we wanted to make it successful. So then I have to give up my art to promote these artists, 20 artists, and became their curator, agent to represent them all over the world to galleries. So it was painful.
Yeah.
And I said to my investors and my partner that when I turn 50, I want to get back to my art because 20 years to dedicate my life on something that I gave up my medical profession to do that was extremely painful. But I did it because I had a commitment. And I always follow through my commitment. So the poetic irony of that is that through that 20 years, I've learned so much through museums, art fairs, international art shows, gallery directors, owners. I deal with so many that I learn the art world so in depth and all the mysterious, elusive, behind the scene of the art world. Very few people know.
Okay.
I got an opportunity to learn that in 20 years. So 10 years ago when I turned 50, I knew the process. So then I was able to create my work, and our company signed me on as one of the artists, and they got me an agent, a manager, and a publicist to promote my career as to become from red chip to blue chip artist, and it was been very successful. And part of that journey was to have a prominent gallery. So I think about 10 years ago, we decided not to sell to or represent to other galleries worldwide, but only have our own art gallery so that there would be less competition and in full control. And then also we were in Beverly Hills 10 years ago, but not only about 4 years ago, we got on Rodeo Drive. Probably the apex centerpiece of Rodeo on across the street from Four Seasons, the iconic step where
Yeah.
I think Clueless and Pretty Woman played. That step, when you walk right up, we're right there.
That's
And the
great.
landlord actually wanted us there. I think at that time, it was COVID just hit. And we were looking for space on Rodeo, and they showed us this all these space, and they showed me this location that I believe at that time Moschino wanted it. And because of COVID hitting, they halted. And then I think Louis Vuitton, is what I was aware, was going to bid for it as well.
Okay.
And eventually they wanted us in, and I couldn't believe that we're there for 4 years, and we signed at like 10 years, and it was, I think it's has changed our business, has changed me as an artist, has guided us and give us opportunities that I never dreamt of.
Wow. Beautiful.
And we represent other artists instead of just mine at the gallery, and we do incredible red carpet events that are very rare in the art world. And because what I've learned, I took the best of all the galleries that I've dealt with in the past and implemented into our gallery so that potential clients and collectors will experience what fine art is, the world of fine art.
Very nice. Yeah, it was beautiful. Taking a look at your page, there's lots of sculptures and yeah, very beautiful work. You're an incredible artist and you have an incredible story.
I say that although others see that, I believe that all of us have our own stories and we have our own ways to want to share it. I'm just one. I don't know others, other stories until I read their books or watch a movie. But there are others that are, I'm sure, so much more, I would say, intense. Mine is just a story of what I feel that could be significant for in regards to our current time with with immigrations and war and famine and all that, this really resonates for me to want to communicate that. And I didn't do this movie for that. It just happens that it coincides with our current climate. And I believe it's serendipitous. But at the same time, the movie will be very controversial, I have to say, in a sense that, and I'm not just talking about the immigration, there are abuse, child abuse, there are things in the movie that, even though it's very toned down, very tame, there are subtleties that are very hard to watch. It's a tearjerker.
I
Don't get me
see.
wrong. We did two
Okay.
focus screening,
Okay.
and both screening, oh my God, the audience just could not stop crying.
Really?
And then we did
Oh,
a Q&A afterward.
okay.
I was really surprised actually when they raised their hand, and it wasn't really about the movie. It was about their own experience. They were talking about, some were Persian, Iranian, some were Filipino, some were African American. They were talking about their relatives and their grandmother and their parents. And one also talked about their abuse as a child. So everything else that came up, that was not really about the movie, but it really resonated with them. And when they start asking questions, I mean, they literally were bawling their eyes out, and I'm sitting there watching and trying to answer the question. And when I hear their story, I couldn't help but
Yeah.
to become emotional about
Right.
it. And then at that moment, I even forgot what we're there for, because I was focusing on their story. So going back, I believe that all of us have such stories that we want to share. And I'm hoping that this movie will resonate, that will bring that back, to have resolve, to have each of us that we've been bottling it up, the guilt, the resentment, the pain. We tend to suppress it, but sometimes we need to let it out and let that wound start to heal. Because once it's healed, then we're able to help others. And that's what happened to me. I feel that my wound has healed through my art, because if it doesn't heal organically, I heal it through my art. And I feel that because of that, I'm able to guide and suggest ways for others to do the same. And I think I did. And I'm hoping that if they start healing, they can do the same. And if we just do that exponentially, I can't imagine how this world could be such a great, better place for that too, as well.
Absolutely. Wow, I am so inspired and I cannot wait to see your film. It's going to do so great. I know it. Anything else? Like, when does it release? Where can we find you? What else do you want to share?
We finished principal photography in Vietnam in March, and we just finished last weekend
Oh my gosh.
at the final scene in U.S. 25 to 30% of the movie is filmed in U.S. The other was filmed in Vietnam. And last week, we had the really incredible rain, and I feel that serendipitous. I think there's something serendipitous about this whole process, that when we needed the rain in the film, it rained.
No, Grace. Yes. Okay. Thank you, God.
In
Okay.
Vietnam,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
needed a scene where father finally came home, and we wanted it rain because the equipment to make the rain was going to be so astronomical for outdoors, and it rained. So it's flawless. And here, we needed some kind of rain and wind at the beach. And sure enough, it rained. But then we couldn't film the rain on the actual beach. We filmed it at the park, and then we went down the beach. Literally, it was flooding. So the whole crew of like 50 people were standing there waiting for the water to get done. So we had
It worked out
it
perfectly.
worked out perfectly. We had a extra few days to reshoot that scene. It was so powerful, and it's done now. So we are now working on the post production in U.S., and we're flying to either Vienna or Prague. We're not the composer hasn't decided where he wants to have the orchestra compose this music. It's about 50 to 100 performers, and the sound is just absolutely so epic. And when that's done, we're anticipating to get complete by spring, and then we're submitting to Cannes, and hopefully in May we'll go to Cannes, and then after that, a few months, then we'll start premiering it worldwide. I like to premiere it first, both in Vietnam and U.S., pretty much back to back, and then after that to Europe and to the rest of the Asian country by the end of 2026. Initially, we wanted to do it this year in 2025 because this year was the 50-year anniversary of the end of the conflict, so to speak, of Vietnam. But I didn't feel that was appropriate. I didn't want people to think that was an opportunist
I
reason we
see.
did it.
I
We
see.
wanted to wait till sort of like the healing, the 50 years over, and then put it like almost like a recap in 2026 so that people can really see and watch this movie because the movie's not really about war. It just happens that war was the backdrop, but it's more of the relationship of a child with his grandmother, which everyone will understand, and also going from adversity to triumph. And I'm really excited to share that with the world.
Compelling. I cannot wait to see it.
And by the way, this is the
Yeah.
first time that I'm acting with a dialogue. Initially, we wanted to get another actor to play me, a very famous actor. And then the director says, no, we want you to play yourself. And I said, but I'm not an actor. So I said, I don't want any dialogue. I just want just like a cameo. So then I was written in, and in Vietnam they say, come over, we'll just shoot behind your shoulder. And then when he saw me on screen, he was like, okay.
He can act.
He's like, the writer saying, okay, we're putting you in. And right now, not just voiceover, I'm in a lot of the scenes. So they were very pleased with it. So
Incredible. Yeah, I'm sure you're a great actor. I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much for being here today. This has been a great conversation.
thank you, Maria. This has been a pleasure. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the chocolate.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Daniel. Till next time on Vibe.